No mucking round. It'll be a free kick before anything's even started here. My tip for the record is Lauderdale. Jeremy Webley a big out, and they've come close twice this season, Lauderdale, without being able to take the chockies against Clarence. And I think today they'll finally get over the line. Was there a free kick, or is it just...
Joshy McGuinness there.
Joshy McGuinness, really the agitator. It looks like he might be the one with the job on Jake Cox.
And Thor Boscott starting at full forward for Lauderdale.
Of course, his first game for the 2018 season. Some conjecture whether he'd even play this year, so great to see him out there in round 15. So in the middle we go. Clarence Lauderdale, Speak Up, Stay Chatty Cup. And that one will have to start again. Not your best, Joel Harris. I am a bit of I guess, a critic of the bounce. Up it goes. And down it comes from Ryan Bailey. Hasn't he had a season? Tute Havea, he was held without it. He'll get a free kick. There's a bit of niggle in this one. There's real spite. We know these two teams do not like each other, but it's on from before the bounce.
It's good to see. Don't mind it, boys.
I'm not sure the MRP will agree.
As he reversed the free kick?
No, he's stuck with it.
To
so Havea, he's come back into this Lauderdale outfit. Powers this one long in the Boscott direction. His first look, and beautiful, straight on the chest. Spots someone up in the middle. Perfect start. Alex Hill, straight on the chest. He'll line up for the opener.
Gee, it was a terrific kick from Havea and a good lead from Boscott. Found some separation, but what was more impressive, his ability to look inboard, play on, and found the target in Hill, who has that ability, a multi-position player who can play back and forward, and normally a pretty good set shot kick for goal, boys.
Alex Hill lining up for the perfect start for the Lauderdale Bombers. Oh, he struck that one beautifully through the middle. Lauderdale on the board.
Well, he's a very experienced player now. He's probably played 10 to 12 years of footy, albeit underage, Mariners and senior footy at the Lauderdale Footy Club. And as we mentioned, he can play back and forward. Looks like he's starting forward today, but was just one out of a free kick situation for Havea, played on. And Boss got a really nice early touch for him, so that's great for his confidence. And we saw a number of players get around him after he took that mark and squared off the kick. Terrific start for Lauderdale.
Yeah, great to see Thor Boscott back out there. His presence is unbelievable to have for the Bombers as Brady Jones works it out of the middle. Wobbly old kick inside 50. Mark taken nicely down back for the Bombers. So they push it wide. Mosquito. Nice mark out in front. He drives it up to the wing right in front of us here. And a good mark, Havea. Great to see him back in this Lauderdale lineup. Nice kick forward. Boscott's on the lead again. Can't take a mark on this occasion. Jones tucks the footy under his arm. Handball over the top. Ends up with Silver. Back to Jones. Boscott's in there again. He was taken high. And the skipper will take the free kick. So it's a high ball from Jones. All Lauderdale underneath it. They can't take the mark though. Nat Franklin. Can he get the footy? He can't, but Bellchambers can. Gets the handball away to McGuinness. Josh McGuinness has got an open 50. Finds the target. It's Hill again.
Beautiful.
That was a terrific kick, wasn't it, from McGuinness? We looked up.
Hill looking to play on here, but he won't. He'll go back and have the set shot.
It was great poise. He looked like he was going to blaze away, but just lowered his eyes and just had the presence of mind to spot up the leading target in Hill, and he gets his second look at it inside 4 minutes.
He's a great goal kicker for the Bombers. We know that. Can he get them off to a dream start here at Blundstone Arena in this blockbuster clash? This time he's pushed it a little far to the left and a minor score.
So a hot start from Alex Hill and the Bombers. 117 plays no score. Clarence, interesting to see Brady Jones being used off half back in recent weeks into the middle. We'll see with the absence of Jackson O'Brien and Weberley. They've kept young Berry in the side, which means we might see a bit of Bailey at full forward. This one is a nervy kick out from defence. It's gathered by Kerenea. Hands over the top, looking for Harrison. It's interrupted. The Roux should move it out with hands. It's cut off by Gilby. Nicely done. Kick inside 50 from Franklin. Should be chopped off. Confusion reigns supreme. Looking at the ball was Williamson. Couldn't gather. And it'll be a stoppage.
And just a bit jittery there in the back half, Clarence. That should have both players there should have been able to work that out. Maybe a lack of torque.
So up it goes. Berry and Smith. Underrated is Smith. Taps down.
There's a free kick. It's going to go to Josh McGuinness, I think.
So we await the ball up here.
I think it was a free kick to McGuinness,
Free kick?
and now the umpires are just deliberating, and it might have been downfield by the look of it.
All right. Well, shot on goal regardless. So
It's costly though, Breno. 30 metres out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this will be an ideal start for Lauderdale. Comes Hill again. It's a kick. It's a high kick. It is away to the right minus score.
So he sort of poked at it, didn't he? Trying to steer it through.
So 1-2-8 Lauderdale. Clarence yet to score. All numbers in Lauderdale's attacking half of the ground. Ball in again. And straight to the boundary. And a boundary throw in.
Good to see Keegan Wiley back too, Breno, for Clarence. Had such a terrific year last season.
Yep. Yeah, he's been missed, hasn't he? He's been out for the majority of the year as well. So they've had a few out, Clarence. Good to see a lot of their players back. But two big outs today, as you mentioned pre-game. Weberley and O'Brien as Lauderdale try to get it back inside 50. Clarence get boot to ball. Big tackle, big, huge tackle there, and the advantage is paid for the Roos. They drive it long inside 50, but there's no one there. It's all Lauderdale. Umpire's blown the whistle and paid the free kick the Bombers' way. So the Bombers in control early here in this contest. Bit of niggle early as well. The Roos have it through Jones. Gets it away. A chance to go inside again. It's a high ball inside 50. Who's under it? Bailey's there. Punched away though by the Bombers. And now Franklin. Can he collect? He does. And big tackle by Williamson. And he's been pinged.
Gee, I thought that was harsh. I thought he didn't have a lot of time there. Attacked the footy really well. It was a great tackle from Williamson, but it had to be a ball up for mine.
A short kick from Williamson. Didn't hit the target. Couldn't mark it on that occasion. So they're away now through Seymour, though. Fletcher Seymour looks at goal, and umpire's blown the whistle here. It's a free kick going the opposite way to the Bombers.
It's going to be a free kick downfield after the kick, which is unnecessary because Lauderdale had all the numbers there and were about to repel that attack, and now Bailey looks like he'll be the benefactor of that decision.
And there it goes. So Ryan Bailey gets Clarence's first of the afternoon. The margin back to 2 points. 1-2-8 plays one straight 6.
There were repeat entries there for the Roos. I thought the first couple were just hacked away a little bit and Lauderdale were able to pick it off. But in the end, it was really the holding the ball decision that went against Lauderdale. Probably a little bit stiff on that occasion, I would have thought, was Nat Franklin. But Clarence made him pay. Just an unnecessary free kick off the ball. And a settler for the Roos.
Well, it's an interesting start here. 2 point margin.
Back in the middle. 2 point margin. Good game we've got on our hands. Neither ruckman can really win it. Bailey soccers off the ground. Doesn't go far. Might be rinse and repeat in the middle again here. So, ball to be balled up yet again in the middle. Smith and Bailey jostle. Tapped on the outer side. Sutton eyed it off. Reglioni might just gather. Paddles it their way. Karanea picks it up. Hands out to the opposition. It was sharked by Brenner. Then to Cox. Then out of defence comes Wiley. Might just trickle out of play. Someone thrown in a tackle. None coming. It'll be a stoppage.
So 2-point margin. Umpire throws it up on the far side of the ground here at Blundstone Arena. Seymour's in there. Lauderdale get boot to ball though. High one. Anyone under it? Ball to ground. Not going too far. Umpire will ball it up again.
Ed Stanley at the moment looks like he's picking up James Holmes in a defensive forward role. If you just watch him off screen, he's trying to drag him out of that dangerous zone where Holmes can really impact on the rebound 50 situation.
So in it comes. Josh McGuinness just tries to paddle it in before seen over by Reece Sutton. Boundary throw in.
Yeah, we can just see it off screen, and Stanley really trying to take essentially Holmes right out of the play.
In it comes again. Clarence trying to work it out and get it and juggle the boundary. It's probably going to trickle over again. It does. So ball not going too far at the moment from that far side of the ground. 10 minutes gone, opening term. 2-point margin to the visitors, Lauderdale. And wait the restart. Here it comes. Berry's in the ruck at the moment for the Roos. Again, out of bounds. Kick going to Clarence here. The umpires bring it back, I think. So he was the man with the footy. What's on offer for Silver here? Not too much, so he decides to go the long option. Right to the paint of 50. Pack flies. Bell Chambers onto it for the Bombers. Gets the handball away. Or kick smothered. And now the Roos have a chance to collect again, but again seen over for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, Bell Chambers with the touch on the outer wing. Now, he's been in terrific form, hasn't he, for Lauderdale this season? Much improved player. Versatile, running through the midfield a lot more. He's a powerful athlete.
So ball back in, one down by Smith. It's just hustled forward, paddling along, nicely done by Kiranaya, I think. Comes out, running along is Havea. He goes back. They retreat a little bit, done nicely off the boot of Shaw. Powering towards forward 50. Gilby's there, so is Hill. Hill slaps on the boot in the Boscott direction, just over his reach. He might just mop up though, Boscott, with a gather and a turn, and off the left and through the middle. Boscott's back in town, and so are the Bombers.
Yeah, it's a smart left foot snap. He's pretty happy with the result, as he often is when he kicks a goal. He really enjoys some of his celebration work there, but it was important for him, I think, to kick that goal. He probably had an option to give it off for a couple of players, but probably wanted to get himself involved in the game. And a great start for him personally. He's kicked a goal, also had an assist for the first goal for Hill. Really like that move of Sutton on Holmes, boys. We've often mentioned how... Come back to that.
Underway in the middle again. Jones bursting out of the middle for the Roos. He gets it inside 50. Mark couldn't be taken. Bombers get it. Gives a high tackle. I said he'll ball it up.
Yeah, we've mentioned Breno at times where we've been a little bit perplexed by opposition teams having put more work into Holmes. We know how damaging he can be. As Clarence play looks like he's coming off from the blood rule.
Yes.
Helped by 2 trainers as well, so...
Potentially bleeding from the face by the look of it.
What do you think of the Guernseys today, boys? They do clash a little, don't they?
I was going to say, very hard to call.
It is hard, yeah.
Makes it difficult.
Check that out with the general manager of the competition during the week to see his thoughts on that.
It's more just a caller thing, I think. The umpires wouldn't be having too many issues. So we just wait for this blood rule. Looks like he's copped a decent whack. Play will get started again. Lauderdale with the jump in this game. 2-2, 14 to 1. Straight 6 is where it sits at the moment. 14 through the first quarter. And back underway, thrown up. Smith wins down. Bouncing away, almost gathered by Hanslow. Farmed out by Hope. Slapping on the boot. It's coming back. And it's coming back beautifully. That was special. And it was a speedy stand-in special. Finishing off. And the margin is cut to just 2 points.
Well, that's what he can do. The premier small forward in the competition, probably over the last 6 or 7 years, consistently 40 goals plus. Such a dangerous matchup, and that was a goal out of nothing, really. Birchall still in the hands of the trainers at the moment with the interchange. Looks like he's copped a nasty blow.
That's never good to see. 2 point margin now. Clarence pegged one back, so tight contest here to start things off in this opening term. Umpire's blown the whistle. Free kick going the way of the Bombers. And Smith pumps it long. One-on-one contest. And now here's Havea. Wheels around and to the right. Minor score.
He's been busy, Havea.
He's been good, hasn't he? So the Roos bring it back into play. Kick's okay. 15, almost 16 minutes gone this opening term. Bellreeve bathed in sunshine at the moment. Kick's not great. Alex Hill marks an easy kick from the Clarence opponent. And he might go back now and have another set shot. This would be his 4th of the game, I reckon, Brownie.
Yes, it would be. And it was just a careful, nervous kick from Hanslow out of the back line there for the Roos. Well picked up by Hill. And we know he'll get the journey here, boys.
And he comes. He's got 1 goal to his name so far. Let's see if he can make it another. The kick looks all right. It looks really good. To go to Alex Hill. The Bombers have their 3rd.
Yeah, well, they're really costly, aren't they? And teams are a lot more adventurous these days, trying to get the ball out of their back half, so they'll probably try and bite off kicks, try and play through the corridor, and be a lot more attacking from that defensive end. But on that occasion, it was just a kick from Hanslow that just a little bit tentative and nervous. And Hill with a good intercept mark and finish. He's looked lively with 2 goals already.
Very handy player is Alex Hill at both ends of the ground. From the McKillop Football Factory. Back in the middle. Paddle down. Cunliffe sets his sights on this one. Paddling it the wrong way though. You'd want to gather here. He's got a little bit of help though. Comes out. Havea gathers, drops it off. A measured kick in for Boscott on the chest. He thought it was play on. I'm not sure if it was. He hands off into the middle. Throwing on the boot is Heavey. And that's another one. The Bombers are looking the goods early in this game.
Well, they're playing on instinct at the moment, aren't they? And Cunliffe just wasn't able to pick up the footy as he entered the defensive 50. And then a beautiful pass, wasn't it, to Boscott? Not sure why he played on. Maybe it was touched off the boot, but instinctively shot it across to Heavey, who we know can kick a goal. We saw him, was it last year, boys? Kick one on the quarter-time siren where you guys gave him no chance.
I don't even think I was in the commentary box yet, Brandy. I think that was the great Tubes Taylor.
Was it?
Gave him no sniff.
Underway again. It's all the Bombers at the moment here in this TSL clash. Bailey throws it on the boot. Bouncing footy. Can the Roos get a much-needed goal? Here's a chance. Bouncing ball. And it's a good ball.
Standing.
Well done, Speedy Standen. Quick reply from the Roos. They've got their 3rd now.
His 3rd week back in the team, I think, Brownie. Starting to find a bit of touch.
Yeah, we saw him his 1st week back and he just looked short of a gallop, which is absolutely understandable. And couldn't quite work his way into the game, but he looks dangerous already today. And really, that's his modus operandi, isn't it? When that ball hits the ground, he seems to react quicker than anyone. A really smart finish and composed finish to get his 2nd.
So Boscott and Hill at one end and Standen at the other. It's a good game early. Back in the middle, Havea with both hands. Silver service for Franklin. He just kicks forward, hoping for Mosquito to gather. Clever little paddle. Gilby going for it. Opts to soccer, not bad. Lampsas now. Hands into the middle. Out the back, Mosquito off the left boot. Boscott sets himself to fly. Across comes Holmes, as he so often does, and takes the mark.
He's so courageous in the air, this man.
So Holmes out of D50. searching kick doesn't reach its target in Seymour, and out it goes.
It's an entertaining start, 7 goals inside 20 minutes. It's funny, boys, just different opposition, you have no trouble getting your energy levels up and motivation, and Clarence and Lauderdale, they've been great rivals. Had that final here last year.
So it'll be thrown on in, out of side. Nice day here at Blundstone Arena. Interesting ruck contest, that one. Jones and Franklin. Franklin emerges with it. Hands out. Soccering along the line was Reglione, and out it goes. So a hot start, a really good contest. Some nice footy being played, particularly from the Bombers. Showing up with some real intent today as the ball comes in. Shallow throw. Smith helps himself. Franklin's thrown out of it, and you'll get a free kick. And that Franklin, the 2017 best and fairest for the Lauderdale Bombers. Powers this one inside 50. Boss got the target. He flies, comes from the back. Tapping down. They can't clear the danger just yet. The Roos, and it'll be a stoppage.
Good matchup at the moment too. Keegan Wiley on Jacob Gilby.
So up it goes. Smith and Bailey. Smith down. He's done a good job today, Smith. Winning most of them. Swung in a tackle. Out the back it goes. Mopping up was Wiley. He's overshot that one. Out on the full.
This is where Lauderdale have been impressive. Just been able to find a target, as they do on this occasion, by lowering their eyes.
And straight to Wiggins. He's a swing man himself. He wheels around. Powers. It holds up a little, and Boscott will say thank you very much.
Well, he just read it, didn't he? Better than anyone. And the kick just seemed to hang up in the air for the last 5 or 10 metres of its trajectory, and he just read it better. And it was almost uncontested.
How long has he been out for? This is extraordinary.
The entire year.
Unbelievable.
So he read that one like a book. Everyone around him with a flailing, and he just gobbled it up. He'll go back. What's this, Brownie? Second?
This will be his second, also an assist. Well, 2 assists really. He had an assist with Hill and also with a handball from Heavey.
We wondered if he'd be underdone. Absolutely not. Boscott is on fire.
As he comes off the ground for a spell, which is often the way after you kick a goal in modern footy. But terrific start for Lauderdale, 5 goals through. They look dangerous every time they enter the forward 50. They're troubling Clarence. I've been really impressed with their ball use, Brent. Some of their ability to hit targets inside the 50, and we saw that. It was Wiggins on that occasion, who a long, deep forward 50 entry, and he just judged it better than anyone else, Thor Boscott. What a great start for him.
Just looking at Thomas Birchall too, boys, just walking very, very gingerly around the boundary to the rooms, assisted by 2 trainers still, so he's not in a good way at all. Probably done for the day, potentially, as Clarence work it out of the middle. Inside, Bailey couldn't take the mark. Ball to ground. No one can get it out just yet. It's tucked in. Dragged in, but Bailey gets it out somehow. And now Berry's there, but Lauderdale, can they work it out? They can, but only as far as James Holmes, who was tackled high, probably. Umpire will ball it up, though.
There's a good defensive fist there from Ben McGuinness a little bit earlier, when Clarence won the footy out of the centre bounce.
So 15-point margin in favour of the visiting team, Lauderdale. Heavey throws it on the boot, dribbles it forward. Mark not taken. Holmes in there, gets the handball out. Ball to ground. And now Heavey again pumps it long. One-on-one contest. Clarence though, hugging the boundary, out of bounds boundary throw in. So 23, almost 24, or 23 and a half minutes gone, opening term. Bombers on fire, 8 shots to 3 so far in this game. Thor Boscott receiving a big round of applause as he left the ground after that goal. Start to the match, great start to the match I should say. The Roos try and work it forward. As Jones gets the handball off to Cox, he's explosive through the middle. He pumps it long. Anyone take the mark? Bailey was there, couldn't keep it. Gets it back though. Handball's over the top, tries to tap it down. Silva. Handball's off to Seymour. Seymour the little kick. And the mark taken.
The first time in this game we've really been able to see Jake Cox break the lines, but it was a a brilliant ground level gather from Brady Jones that released Cox, and they always look dangerous when he's able to run and carry the footy.
So this for the Roos' 4th goal of the match. A much needed one as we approach quarter time, and it is off to the right for a minor score.
Will be brought back into play. Wiggins with the footy. Wiggins brings it out and finds Sutton under no real pressure.
Probably about 3 or 4 players running around today that are playing against their old clubs.
Sutton almost for Havea through his hands. Out the back, it'll be gathered by Cowie. Hope tries to keep it alive.
Whoa.
Not sure if he did.
Oh.
It's cleaned up afterwards. And there's a whistle. It'll come back and Hope will get a kick, I think.
Yeah, the umpire spotted it. Hope doesn't realise it's his.
Bit going on with Havea there too, boys.
I think Berry's a bit confused as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Havea that wanted a piece of Hope, didn't he? So Hope now. Powers long, looking in the Cox direction. He arrives, but unfortunately the ball lands in the arms of Josh McGuinness. The Lauderdale vice skipper inside, sees a target in McManus, receives it back. He's sold into all sorts of trouble. Cox brings him to ground. Out the back, Sutton will try and just paddle it away, get it out of that defensive 50. Standen arrives and holds it up.
Well, they probably got away with one there. Josh McGuinness, who's normally pretty reliable when he executes those short kicks, didn't carry, and Clarence just pounced on it.
So Smith and Berry jostling. Smith gets the hit out, not a convincing one. Seymour with the tackle. It'll be another stoppage. Dying embers of this first term. A really exciting term of footy, especially if you're a Lauderdale Bomber. This one's down for Bell Chambers. Tries to manufacture something despite being held. In the end, gets a free kick.
He's another versatile player, isn't he, Bell Chambers? He can run off half back. He can play across half forward and be damaging and kick a goal.
A powerful
more
player.
a midfielder, isn't he?
He is indeed. Kicks this one long. The contest did not favour Lauderdale. More red and white than blue and
he's
red.
paid it.
And he's paid deliberate there, and it probably was, to be truthful. Not that well disguised from Holmes. Heavey now picks his target in. Boscott just runs through. Takes a piece of Holmes on the way, and out it goes.
Yeah, well, for someone that's only about 30 minutes into his comeback game, he's got some confidence, hasn't he, Boscott? And in fairness too, Lauderdale have tried to go to him as much as possible to get him involved in the game, but he's running up and jumping in the air at the footy with some real confidence.
So in it comes, Berry and Smith. Out the back, almost for Harper. And it was just kicked forward by Chambers. Neil cleaned up Wiggins, but they emerge with it here, Lauderdale. Paddling forward, Gilby, not his best. It's gathered, it'll come back the other way for a Hanslow. Ling trying to get a piece of it. Players from both sides just piling on in. It'll be a stoppage, you'd think. Top of the 50.
He probably had an opportunity there, Jacob Gilby, as you called it there, Gilly. It was an instinctive handball from Robbie McManus, but there's been a free kick off the ball.
Free kick
to that man.
To McManus.
Now, Wally's got back in the hole to try and cut off that kick that Lauderdale have executed so well, but McManus is going back like he can kick this one.
He looks confident of getting the journey here, Brownie. A few leads coming, he's ignored them. So with a gallop from the square, right on the edge. He hasn't quite got the journey. Havea almost, but Williamson too good.
He's going to get...
Takes the grab. It might be... There are a couple of whistles there. But it will just be the kick for Williamson.
But a Neymar, was it? There was no 50-metre penalty.
So Williamson, long beyond the arc. Unfortunately, straight to Gilby. Former Gold Coast Sun picks a target inside. It's Boscott. Oh, he almost took it. Just slipped through the fingers at the crucial moment.
Wow, he won't get an easier mark today. It was a great kick from Gilby and a terrific lead from Boscott. He got some great separation and inexplicably just dropped it.
Got a dangerous forward line, Lauderdale, with Gilby and Mosquito and those types. This one's punched back so many numbers around the ball. Holmes claims it. Tries to find a teammate in Ling. Just misses him and it runs out.
Gee, that would have been handy for Lauderdale's perspective had Boscott been able to take that mark, go back and have a set shot. Potentially would have been his third, put him 20 points in front.
So it'll be thrown in. Attacking end for Lauderdale. They've put 5 on in this quarter. A 6 would be nice, right on the edge of quarter time. They should make their way out now. Clarence through hands low. He just slapped it on the boot. Heavey does the same in the other direction. Boss got under it. Tried to protect his space. Couldn't take the grab. Wrapped up by Holmes.
Well, he did well again, Boscott. He was outnumbered 3-1. Managed to bring the ball to ground, and Lauderdale maybe with one last opportunity before the quarter time siren goes.
One last roll of the dice. If they can get something on this. Hill tries to manufacture something. So does Boscott. He fresh airs it. And the siren saves Clarence from a 6th goal. But this is a fascinating contest. One that at the moment belongs to the Lauderdale Bombers. They lead 5-3, 33 to Clarence 3-1, 19.
Well, they just started better, didn't they, Lauderdale? Right from the first opening minutes when able to get an early goal from Boscott, which was great for his confidence. And I thought he had a terrific first quarter since coming back into the team after a long layoff. But I was really impressed with Lauderdale's ball use, particularly their ability to pick off targets inside their forward 50 and lower their eyes. Alex Hill managed to get on the scoreboard with a couple of goals as well. Heavey with a nice snap, and they certainly look like they're really pleased with their opening first quarter.
So back in the middle. One down by Berry. Comes out the side. Seymour hands out to Chambers, throws it on the boot. Bouncing ball, out looking for Cox. Swats away, is won by McGuinness, then McManus and Sutton combining through a web of handballs. Then Bell Chambers back for McGuinness. This is great ball movement. Sutton, a long high ball inside 50, looking in the Gilby direction. Punched away. Almost out of danger with Clarence, but not for long. Coming in and caught high was Gilby, I think. Oh no, the kick will go back.
Play on to.
We'll go to Karanaya. He just couldn't hit his target there. He's cut off by Wiley. Wiley back in this Clarence side. Good to see. Hands out from Cunliffe to Ling. Looking for Castle. A great punch from the youngster Shaw. Coming across and seeing it out.
Yeah, he's been pretty good, Shaw. Some of his defensive one-on-one work I've really liked. He's just come back from the Tasmanian Under-17 match where he performed really well, named amongst the best players. Certainly one to watch for the future.
So to be thrown in, and here's the Bev Show tossing it in. Not his best at all. Berry out the back. Picked up by Ling. He rides the tackle and cops one high.
So Clarence have got a really open forward line at the moment.
Ling looks ahead. What does he have? Goes long, looking for Bailey. Doesn't quite reach him. Cut off. Lampsas with her hands out. Berry picks it up. Crunched in a tackle. Maybe a stoppage.
Gee, it's a good tackle. Lauderdale probably outworked Clarence, didn't they, in the midfield, Gilly, in that first quarter, particularly on the outside, I thought.
14-point margin. Up it goes right in front of us here. It's Berry in the ruck along with Smith. Now Chambers sees it over.
Gee,
big going on too here.
He should have had a free kick, Chambers. I thought it was
caught
too
one
high
on
from Bell Chambers. Missed by the umpire.
Just watch Bev's work here.
Well, he needs a big one. He needs some elevation. The first three.
He wasn't too keen to get too close to get it.
He's having a chat to Gabby Chambers there too, the Bev Show.
I reckon he might have cost, what's his signature phrase? In it comes.
Woohoo! Big. All right, let's get back to the footy. Here's Cunliffe, one bounce. Off to Cox. Cox tucks the footy under his arm, looks inside 50. He's got options. And a nice mark taken by the Roos, and they're going to have a shot on goal.
Well, that was great spread from the stoppage. Really well done by Cunliffe. And he gave it to Cox, who, interesting enough, was caught on the wrong side, but didn't bother him. A really neat kick on the right side of his body and gets Standard a chance for his third.
I was about to say, Brownie, 3 goals coming up. He's a star, Trent Stanton. You see why they tried to rush him back into this team as soon as possible. In he comes. Kick's not his best on this occasion, off for a minor score.
He stuck loyal with them too, Trent Stanton, over a long period of time. I wonder whether or not he could have almost tried his hand at the next level up, maybe VFL, Waffle, South Australian League, something like that.
So the Bombers bring it back in. It's a long, big kick out of the fence on a sun-drenched Blundstone Arena. The Bombers bring it down the wing. It's all the Roos, though. On that far side of the ground, here's Holmes running onto the footy. So is Boscott, though. He went a little too far, didn't judge it quite well enough, but gets it back. Boscott, he wheels around, gets it to the top of the square. Who's there? It's Clarence, though, and Holmes. He gets the handball backwards. Works out okay in the end. Chambers collects the footy. Pumps it long, Gabby Chambers. And now good mark taken as well. So chance for the Roos just to regroup here.
Yeah, good mark to young Brent. He's been in pretty good form, played really well the last couple of weeks. He's been in and out of the Clarence team throughout his early career.
Jake Cox goes long, ignores Jones, tries for Berry, but Smith out in front. He's being held, and the free kick will go to Smith.
He's got a player on if he looks out wide, but
a little too late, unfortunately, Brownie. So 13-point margin, almost 5 minutes gone, second term. Eastern Shore rivals in the Speak Up stage, ChatTY Cup. Ball to the wing, Cox went for the fly. Jones, though, held the ball in the air, got the handball away. Bell Chambers, Stanley, McManus, Holmes there to collect. Ever reliable, of course. Handball's away. Now the Roos have a chance through Neild, who takes a nice mark inside the centre square.
Been pretty quiet, Neild.
He has. Castle, hands low. Castle's ball, gets it. Handballs it forward. And now Harper just inside the paint of 50. It is bouncing, but to the far right, and a minor score.
Going back a couple of minutes ago, Lauderdale had a terrific opportunity. Stanley was alone in the goal square. They just couldn't get it to him, and Holmes got back so very well, almost played that goalkeeper role.
He's very good at that, is Holmes. Ben McGuinness, a short kick out. So 2-goal lead for the Bombers. Comes outside of defensive 50. And Stanley takes the grab. Stanley, long down the line, looking in the Boscott direction. It's well cut off. Thought it was a juggling mark for a moment, but he hasn't got it out, and it's holding the footy.
Oh, why would you come off now?
I thought Bailey took that, but not to be. And Boscott pounces, and it looking like one of those days for Boscott, back in the side, and it's all coming up trumps. He's kicked I think it was Lampsis.
He's a great player at this level. Gee, you get some unpredictability with him though, Gilly, don't you? You can kick the miraculous goal, then he might drop the odd chest mark.
Absolutely. Sutton goes long and strong. There's a flyer at the back. Hill now trying to pounce on the footy. It's run out.
But he's a difficult matchup. Now, there's a player down here. The umpire's actually motioned to the trainer, so this doesn't look too good. It looks like that's a really nasty injury.
Alex.
No, it's not Alex Hill, I don't think.
Just the way
well, maybe it is.
The coaches reacted. Yeah, it is Alex Hill, boys. I've got the binoculars on him, and gee, I hope it's... it's not a knee. Let's hope not.
He's not moved at all.
This is not good. He's a key plank in this side. We just hope this is not serious, but it's not looking good at all, is it, boys?
No, well, it's just one of those ones where both teams and the umpires seem to react really quickly and sum it up that the situation wasn't great for Alex Hill. And Clarence trainers and now Lauderdale trainers are on the scene. Stretcher is coming out. Gee, that'd be a body blow. He has had some injuries over his career too, Alex Hill.
Yeah, not good news at all. Not a great sight. So 12-point margin here as we pause and wait to see just how bad this injury is to Alex Hill. Had a great start to the game too, Brownie, didn't he?
Well, he has, and he's a very versatile player. I mean, they've got a great luxury, haven't they, Lauderdale, with Alex Hill and also Ryan Wiggins. Just the ability to be able to flip-flop both players from both ends of the ground. It's not too often that you see them playing up the same end these days, but it's a credit to their versatility that they can play in different roles. But this does look pretty serious, unfortunately, for Alex Hill, and I'd say play is going to be held up for another 2 or 3 minutes here.
Let's look at the huddles here, Brownie, and most players on their knees. Do you often see that in a huddle?
Stretching, I think.
Yeah, it must be a stretch, and
certain type of stretch.
Well, I think that's important because it looks like there's going to be a lull here for a few minutes. Another game being played today too, Breno, at North Hobart Oval.
Yeah, 8 minutes into the second term. It's the Tigers, Kingborough, 36, leading the home team at North Hobart, 26. So 10-point buffer, so North Hobart hanging in that game, which is good to see.
An interesting game last night too, Gilly. Launceston right in that one, unfortunately went down by a point, and North Launceston came from behind to win that game.
Yeah, they led by 3 or 4 goals, I think, at one point, the Blues. They were really on top, and I thought they'd get home, but North Lonnie, good teams seem to find a way, and they certainly did on that occasion.
Well, I think it's encouraging for Launceston because their form has really dropped off, and we were of the opinion, weren't we, Gilly, that when they got some of the young, talented Mariners back into their program, and particularly some of the boys with the demise of Bernie that are playing their TSL footy now with Launceston, so you know, players like Rubok, House, Jackson's another one, they'll get Chase Jones, so we felt there was going to be some upside when they potentially get stronger when they get some of those boys back into the lineup.
The stretch has finally been lifted off the ground, boys, and Alex Hill will make his way from the ground.
It's a real shame because he was playing some great footy.
Well, what was telling there, and I'm pretty sure it was the umpire that just reacted immediately and motioned to the bench, which you don't often see the umpire doing that, but he obviously summed it up really quickly in the severity of the injury and the concern. Now, Lauderdale players, they're going to go over to Alex Hill, I'd say, here. And they're actually clapping him. Obviously, a much admired teammate.
Did you actually see what happened then, Brady?
No, I didn't.
He made a bit of a desperate lunge to keep it alive, didn't he? But
yeah, the first thing I saw was the umpire. And look, you've just got to hope the best for Alex Hill, and let's hope that if it is an injury, it's on the lower scale and he's not lost to footy too long. The interesting thing now is, I guess, the response from both teams. We've had probably a 5 or 6 minute delay. We haven't had a goal scored so far. As a matter of fact, we haven't had a score in the second quarter. So Lauderdale still holds sway by 2 goals, but the immediate emotional response from Lauderdale will be interesting here. Sometimes this can work both ways. It can galvanise you as a group, or sometimes the shock of seeing one of your teammates carried off on a stretcher, and all of a sudden you can be a little bit reactive and the opposition can get on top. So what it does do is hurts Lauderdale's structure a little bit too, because he was really damaging, as you mentioned, Breno, in that first quarter with a couple of goals, and looked like he was going to be in for a good day. So you can see as he's being carried off.
It's been a long journey to the
rooms. A lot of people moving their way over to the race where he's about to go down. So let's hope he's okay.
Absolutely. As we wait the ball in, as you said, Brownie, probably a 5, 6, even 7 or 8 minute delay there. So we're underway again. Avea taps it down. Mosquito, it's bending back. It looks all right too. Has it made the distance? No. Touched, but gee, it was a good kick.
And he read it so well, didn't he? He hit the stoppage at pace. Wiley with a really nice kick from the back half. Gee, great spoil.
Really good spoil from McManus. We see Cowie get the handball away to Neild. Neild puts the afterburners on and goes forward now for the Roos. Running back with the flight of the ball, though, is McGuinness. Couldn't take the mark. Cunliffe. Ball still alive here. And Clarence still have it too. The Roos. Here's Chambers. Has got some space. Has a look at the goals. It's to the right, though. Another minor score.
Gee, it was a bit of a let-off. I thought McGuinness, they're always difficult when you're going back with the flight of the ball. Thought he probably should have taken that. Just created the turnover, and Chambers, who'd normally kick those.
So be brought out from full back. Wiggins, we might see him forward now for periods, you'd think, with Hill out of the game. It's long and in the Havea direction. They are some sticky mitts.
He's been really good. Right
Good
from
player.
the word go, he got the first kick of the game, which was a beautiful pass
Taking
to Boscott.
Taking that nicely. Havea, long, strong in the Gilby direction. Coming across was Wiley, sees it out.
It's just closed up a little bit in this quarter. We saw it fairly free-flowing, and both teams able to score 8 goals in that first quarter. It's a little bit difficult to come by so far early days in the second quarter.
So it's thrown in, swatted down from Havea. At the full, it's all Lauderdale. Out the side, Sutton, hands off. Stanley, he's tackled by Holmes, comes to Williamson, he hands it out. Well done by Neal, drives the tackle and finds Seymour. A web of handballs, keeps it moving for Clarence, but should be cut off by Heavey. He turns, finds a target in Lampsas. He's got an option short in Sutton, uses it. Block ball from Holmes, nicely done. Piling on top with Sutton. I thought it might have been in the back. No, says the umpire, holding the footy. So it'll be a Lauderdale ball, standing underneath all that. He dived on the footy. Sutton looking for Wiggins. 1 bite, 2 bites almost. Cowie now out of defence, just over the head of Heavey, and they're away. Silva off for Cox. Cox off the left, looking for Bailey. Bailey almost. Neal mops up. He's got Bombers all around him though. Ben McGuinness trying to get it out. Bailey, interesting off the deck. Oh, he's almost got it into goal. Don't tell me, off the line. Hope, it was Cox even, or no, it was Hope. Claimed it.
Tried to claim it.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Try and claim it.
Not quite
Try
though.
and dupe the umpire. But I think beautifully called by you, Gilly. I think, just as you've mentioned it, I think Ryan Wiggins has been swung forward.
So it's coming back here.
Was that just going over the line, was it?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
amazed
so.
how often players do that.
Well, there's been a bit of talk about a bigger square and other such changes, Brownie.
You leave the game alone, boys.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Up it goes. And out the back. Nice goal. So a couple of seconds after trying to claim that goal a moment ago, Hope gets it.
Well, that's unforgivable from Lauderdale's perspective. You'd think with all the time now that you put into stoppages, Darren Winter would be filthy at that. Firstly, from almost a free kick situation, literally for Clarence, by the fact that Lauderdale overstepped the mark on the kick out. So then you get a ball up, and then you've got a man who is not picked up in a stoppage, and then really a easy goal, body blow there for Clarence, for Lauderdale. And I don't think they're at their best, Clarence. They're only 5 points down, so it's probably not great signs for Lauderdale at this point.
Bailey down almost for Harper. Smith does well. Comes to Sutton. Out the side. McManus inside 50. Looking for Boscott. Good body position. Shark from Mosquito! The instant reply from Lauderdale.
Yeah, a great reply, and great call again, Gilly. The body work of Boscott. He looked like he was caught out of position there, but was just able to body up his opponent, almost get goal side. And out of the textbook, if you want to know where to get a front and square crumb, Breno, you saw it then from Timmy Mosquito. He's looked dangerous a couple of times in this game. And a really important reply, their first goal for the second quarter for Lauderdale.
Yeah, good little player, Tim Mosquito. Handy pickup for the Bombers in 2018.
Brady Jones in the forward line for Clarence at the moment.
6'4", plays 4'5". Intriguing contest here at Blundstone Arena. They're away here, the Bombers again. Seymour, but now Cowie. And umpire's blowing the whistle. Free kick coming back to Fletcher Seymour. He plays on quickly, and he'll switch play across the opposite side of the ground. It's a kick that's okay in the end. So approaching time on, second term. Roos through Williamson. And the half-back line. 11-point ball game.
Well, you'd think we're looking at a 32, 33-minute quarter with that injury to Hill.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Brownie. It'll go for a while, won't it? So hopefully things are okay with Alex Hill down in the room.
The umpires have been red hot on that one, haven't they? There.
Don't know if he had prior there, Brownie.
No, but I guess they've been consistent with that decision right throughout. Unfortunately, the man who tends to be on top of the ball, if you're not making any attempt, they're pinging it at 8.
So the Bombers get it back towards their forward line. No one could take the mark. Seymour out the back, gets it over to Cunliffe, who couldn't control the footy. And it's right, hugging the boundary there. Still alive, though. Umpire will eventually blow his whistle.
I think Lauderdale would be fairly pleased at this early stage with the influence that Jay Cox has had on the game so far has been minimal at this point in time. Still a long way to go, but they'd be pretty pleased with how that matchup is going for them.
Ball not going too far here. The handball from Smith over the top for the Bombers. Again spills to ground. Players dive on top of it. Another ball up. Important game this one. We spoke about that off the top. Lauderdale try and fight their way towards a top 3 spot, which is still possible, of course, and Clarence want to remain in there. So Seymour wrapped up with it. Ball to ground again. Heads collide, but the ball stays alive. Bailey and Jones finally gets it out of the pack. Bouncing ball, McGuinness. I think it was McGuinness. It might have been, actually. But the umpire's blown the whistle anyway. A free kick going back to the Bombers. And they've got a chance now to switch the play, but they opt not to. Instead, they go long back to that wing again. And the fly from McManus from behind, but eventually out of bounds, boundary throw in.
Ben McGuinness is another one that can, throughout the game, be thrown forward. We've seen him do that. Saw him do it in the finals last year. Did really well when he moved forward.
So the ball to be thrown in. Tell you what, I reckon Smith has had the better of this ruck duel. He's won that one and has swung forward for the Roos. Out it goes. He's been on top, I reckon, Smith.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. He's an underrated player, isn't he? He's a big size. He kicks the ball pretty well. He's a solid body. Tackles well. He's happy to get his hands dirty at ground level.
So Sutton now through traffic. Sells McManus into a spot of bother. He might be in trouble here, McManus. No, says the umpire.
You're right, Gill. He did sell him into trouble. Probably didn't need to give the hands. Probably need to go by foot on that occasion. Jacob Gilby, boys, not quite getting into the game.
No.
In the early stages. We know he's had a long time out of footy.
Sort of tight, though. If he can bob up and kick a couple. Really set up Lauderdale in this game. McManus now away through hands. He goes long looking for Wiggins. Mistimed his jump. Williamson gobbled it up.
Mistimed it horribly, didn't he?
Williamson, an errant kick. Not his best at all. It will set Holmes a task, but he's up to it, the youngster. Throws it on the boot. A wobbly old ball. And out it goes. There's Brenner. Couldn't complete the mark, so it'll be out on the full, in fact. Josh Williams to bring it in.
So always had great pace, Josh Williams.
It's an interesting kick. Favoured Wiley. Couldn't bring it down, though. Enough pressure from Havea. Here's Gilby now.
Oh.
Rides a couple of tackles. Gets it off to Havea. Swings this one too far. Out on the full.
He's good with his hands, Nat Franklin. Underrated footballer.
He's a damn good footballer, isn't he?
Well, you'd think if Tassie hypothetically would have picked a state squad, as normally been the case over the last few years, this time of year, that will play representative footy, he'd be in it.
No question. Williamson, short to Chambers. So a lot of numbers on this broadcast wing. That is where Chambers heads. Likes the option of Bailey. Does well, palms down. Cunliffe kicking, looking for Neil. McGuinness sets himself, didn't complete the grab. Shaw's there to help mop up. The youngster comes through, drops it off. Raglione drops the footy. A bit of candy from Cox. Maybe too theatrical. Castle couldn't take it. Swinging in a tackle. It'll be a stoppage.
Gee, you probably should have taken that, Timmy Castle. You expect a player of his calibre to mark that one. I'm not sure whether it would have been paid if it carried the required distance, but a half a chance gone begging there from the Roos in a quarter where it's been difficult to score.
So Smith and young Berry, McGuinness now just tackling hard.
Yeah, both teams are struggling to get some connection with their ball movement, which translate into some really neat inside 50 entries.
So Joel Harris, up it goes. Paddled down from Smith. Emerging from it was Keranaya. Found space where there was none. Picked out Mosquito. Looks ahead. What does he like? He likes Wiggins and finds him. So Wiggins started back, swung forward.
Where's his better spot, do you think, Gilly? I actually prefer him as a forward.
I do as well. Long it comes. Havea arrives and takes it nicely.
He's been very strong aerially today.
Been very good, Havea. Draws in the player and hands it out. Comes long. Off Wiggins' boot. And out on the full.
Yeah, that kick needed to hit the top of the square. You saw Jacob Gilby pointing to the spot where that kick really needed to go because it's low percentage. You just give your forwards a better chance if you kick that across your body.
Dangerous old kick in. Smith tries to juggle it. Mosquito's there. He's tackled. Was he taken high? He was. So it's not Mosquito, it's Keranaya. So Keranaya will go back now and have a shot on goal, you think?
Now, is there a 50-metre penalty? Because they're all clapping.
Something going on, Brownie.
No, he's going to report Tim Castle. So I reckon the 50 was against him because the Lauderdale players, once the whistle blew, they all knew.
Not his smartest bit of work there, Tim Castle.
By the way, the goal's been kicked by Lauderdale.
He's been sucked right in there, hasn't he, Castle?
Too busy watching the aggro here. It's still going on too between Berry and Smith.
Now, I know you like the rough and tumble.
I do.
Breno, but I'll tell you that helps no one. And I reckon Jeremy Webley would be filthy with Tim Castle right now. Well, just cost his team a goal.
No, I agree. And then obviously kept on going. And in a low-scoring game, or low-scoring quarter, sorry, that's a real body blow for Clarence. 17-point lead now for Lauderdale.
Yeah, it's a stinger.
Keranay's been prominent with a couple of nice touches. A little bit of work in his back half, which is really nice, where he's able to spot up Mosquito, I think.
7-4, plays 4-5, so 17 points now. As we said, a long quarter here, given Alex Hill's injury. Probably a 5 to 6 minute delay. So we are underway again. Franklin's in there. Mentioned him a few moments ago. Gets a lot of the footy, of course. And now Smith, big kick outside the centre square. And Williamson's there to take the mark.
Great mark.
Yeah, look, he's getting better every week we've seen.
So
just knows when to come in and intercept, when to spoil.
He goes long. Back inside the centre square. Berry flew. So to McGuinness for the Bombers. McManus. Handballs over the top to Josh McGuinness. And now Franklin right on 50. Puts it forward. Kick. Beautiful kick inside.
Gee, that's a brilliant kick.
No mark.
I said play on.
No.
So Stanley's mark not paid.
What happened there, boys? Was it touched off the boot or did both?
Grasped it, I think, maybe.
Grasped it. Gee, I thought it was terrific ball use from Franklin on that occasion, just to lower his eyes.
So it's Berry and Havea in the ruck. Havea, handballs up. Big smash down by Holmes. And now the Roos get the ball forward, but they only get it as far as Smith.
I could be wrong, boys. Just ticked over 27 minutes, but I still think we've got a little bit of footy to be played in this quarter with that injury to Alex Hill. Yeah,
there'll be a fair bit to go, I reckon, Brownie. Probably looking at 33, 34 minutes, you reckon? Something like that as Havea gets boot to ball. And now here are the Roos out of defence. Ling, handballs forward. And now they got some time here. Mark taken by Neil in the bright orange boots. He centres the footy. Bailey,
poor
but
kick.
No.
It was
a kick straight down the throat. Oh,
no,
now
they've lost the 50. They have. really lost their discipline, and perhaps they're missing the on-field influence of their coach, who would be pretty measured in these situations and a calming influence on the group. But they've just got to be careful that they're not punished on the scoreboard here and go in 4 or 5 goals down.
17 points as Ben McGuinness takes the kick. Drills it long. Holmes is there to defend for the Roos, but Havea, what can he do? Oh, some work here from Stanley. He's just turned around everyone there. And now a big kick right on the paint of 50. And Mark couldn't be taken by Wiggins, but he gets boot to ball. Out on the full.
They look dangerous at times, Lauderdale, but they're being helped by some ill discipline from Clarence in the last 4 or 5 minutes. A couple of unnecessary free kicks. They've got to regroup here. They've only kicked a 1 in this second quarter.
Also some poor use inside forward 50, I reckon, from the Roos.
Definitely.
Williams now looking for Franklin. Just tunnels it out and finds Williams again. Slapping on the boot. Gilby the first to it over his head. It's met by Cowie. Can't gather. Wiggins tries to just slap him off. Caught one high, maybe.
No, throw. The umpire's
it's a throw. Play not allowed to keep going.
Yeah, there's another Lauderdale player down. Is it Josh Williams?
Lancis. No. So short one from Holmes to Wiley. The two young guns of their 2017 season really burst onto the scene. Find Seymour. Probably the equivalent in 2018.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Wonderful find. Long it goes onto the wing. Bailey sets himself and it's punched out of his reach and out of play.
Well, that's not the first time he's done that, Ben McGuinness. He has a great vertical jump and is able to get up and fist the ball away, and that's just a really strong defensive act.
So here we go. The Bev show. Pressure on.
That's better.
That is much better. Berry first to it. Down. Sutton can't gather. Slipping through his fingers. Jones did his best. Hanslow emerges. Can't get it out. He's crunched in a Harrison tackle.
Well, I thought that one was more holding the ball than some of the others that we've seen in this game. Lauderdale's tackling and intensity and work rate has picked up in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Young Leo Harrison's been going to Brady Jones and done a good job so far. McManus off for Franklin, measures his kick onto the chest of Wiggins. Really coming to the game since he's been swung forward.
Great kick.
Spots up a target in the middle. It's Mosquito. Usually a laser-like boot. Not on this occasion. Harper takes it at centre-half back.
No, that was the commentator's curse. That was a poor kick on that occasion from Mosquito.
He goes on to the outer wing and finds Holmes. Holmes finds a target in Neild.
Well, he's worked his way into it this quarter, Chris Neild. He's taken 4 or 5 marks.
So we will be on 30 minutes here. Maybe a couple more with the injury to Alex Hill. We're still none the wiser on what that is.
Gee, boys, I've loved some of the pre- and post-clearance work of Nat Franklin today. Terrific with his hands. Good decision maker.
So it'll be thrown in. Berry. First to it. Palms down. It's in the hands of Lauderdale through McManus. Back over his head though. Cox, not his best ball. Gathered though by Standard. Inside for Bailey. A little bit of space. Handballs. In trouble is Cox. Swung and gone.
Gee, that was a good tackle, wasn't it? Perfect tackle. It's been a feature of their game. Now, has there been a decision reversed here or not?
Looks like Cox is getting the kick.
Dangerous tackle.
Right.
I thought he signalled for holding the ball there. I might be wrong. So, looks like it will be Jake Cox.
I think it was against Josh McGuinness too.
So,
well, he's the type of player that could kick this, Gilly, and they needed, actually, in fairness, the Roos just about to come in at half time.
Need a bit of luck. Need something to go their way right on the edge of half time. On the outside of the boot. That's what he tried.
He didn't like it as soon as it
didn't
came
look
off
good.
The boot. He looked away in disdain.
Offline. And still a handy lead here for the Bombers.
So Lauderdale out of defence. They held a 16-point margin. So we approach half time. After that, oh, good mark. Hayden Smith out the back.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's been very good this afternoon. Pumps it long. Lauderdale got one more goal in them before half-time. Havea tried to juggle it. Jones dives onto it for the Roos. Ball up. So 33 minutes gone.
They'd probably be content with this Lauderdale to go in with that 16-point lead. They've been able to get numbers back when Clarence have had. There it is for half-time.
Yeah, half-time. And it is Lauderdale, the visiting team, leading 7-4-46. Clarence 4-6-30, so 11 scoring shots to 10. Been a good game so far, bit of niggle here and there. Unfortunately, the story, though, is Alex Hill leaving the ground after a lengthy delay. Hopefully everything's okay with him, but Lauderdale will be very pleased with that, I reckon.
Clarence 4-6-30. Lauderdale 7-4-46. Bit of sun peeking through here. The word from half-time is Alex Hill, an injured elbow. Not good at all. Smith wins the first hit out of the second half here at Blundstone Arena. Racing away goes Silva. Looking for Jones, not his best kick at all. Harrison will collect. A rare touch for the tagger. Spots up a target in Franklin. Finds Josh McGuinness. Might be 3 McGuinnesses in the side next week, with Matt McGuinness making his way back after Allies.
And now Lauderdale, can they get off to a dream start here in the third quarter? Not on this occasion, and the Clarence bring it out of defence. Good mark taken by Silva. And they play on quickly, the Roos, as the sun pops its head out again here at Blundstone Arena. Ling, Cox. Oh, terrible turnover. Straight in the hands of the dangerous Thor. Boscott, who says, thank you very much. Dream start for the Bombers in term number 3.
Well, it's a similar start in the first quarter, wasn't it? Boscott got involved early with an assist, and this time he's kicked a goal. Fortuitously fell in his lap and made the finish look easy from 40 metres. And a perfect start for Lauderdale, 22-point leaders.
Oh, what a return
just
for
got
Thor.
caught, didn't he, in
Boscott,
traffic.
Brownie.
Silva just gave it to Jake Cox, and he was trying to create something. But no, you're spot on, Breno. 3 goals. He would have taken that.
Just his
at the
presence
start of
too,
the day.
hey?
Well, I reckon he's had 2 assists, so they've kicked 8, Lauderdale, and he's had a hand in, or a direct hand in 5 of those.
They were a dangerous team before he came back in. They're even more dangerous now, the Bombers. Great to see him back, Thor Boscott. He's a star of the competition as Clarence push it forward now. Brady Jones comes out, gets the footy. Seymour's there. So are a lot of Bombers players.
Well done, Bell Chambers.
Bell Chambers gets it out. And now they're out of defence, the Bombers. Perenay is there. And he's dealt with. Umpire let it go. It was a free kick for sure. Anyway, play goes on Ling. Sees it over the boundary throw-in.
Well, there's a long way to go in this game, but for mine, Clarence need the next goal.
Well, they absolutely do, Brownie. 22 points now, and Lauderdale just look the better team at the moment. That's for sure.
They've struggled, haven't they, in this game?
In it comes again. Ball down. Here's Brady Jones, collects the footy. Tries to just get rid of his opponent, does, but the ball goes further afield and stops. Still hasn't blown the whistle, the umpire. Play goes on. And now here's Cunliffe, tucks the footy under the arm and wheels around, drives it long inside 50, and Neiled from behind, can't take the mark, but Speedy standing out the back, gets the handball over to Tim Castle, who kicks an easy goal, and that's the goal that the Roos required.
Well, he probably owed him one, Tim Castle, and that was set up by beautiful, again, crumbing from Trent Stanton, and just had the presence of mind not to kick the footy. Waited for the Lauderdale player to commit and handballed over the top, and Castle with an easy finish. 16-point, good response from the Roos, and a badly needed one for them.
Absolutely. Cuts that lead back now to just 16 points as it was at half-time.
Well, one thing we've seen from Clarence throughout the year, boys, is their ability to stay in the game and just keep hacking away and eventually finding a way to win, has happened a few times this year. So maybe today could be similar.
Hayden Smith tapped it down to Franklin, who's in a two-way battle with Cunliffe. Who can pick up the footy first? Still alive here. Mosquito throws it on the boot. Holmes is there and takes a nice mark back with the flight. He's ever reliable, Brownie. I know you love him.
Oh, just his intercept marking is terrific.
Ling decides to go backwards. And now it's Wiley, who's back in the team, of course, who's missed a lot of footy this year. His kick to Cox was not good. Can he get it back? He does, but he's dragged down as well at the same time. Umpire will ball this one up.
Well, you said, can he get it back, Breno, and he needed to get it back because one or two times already today he's just missed the target. He's only coming back into footy after a long injury layoff, so maybe lacking a little bit of touch, but at least he got in there and created a ball up.
Up it goes. Ball doesn't go too far before it'll be balled up again.
He's a handy body in there, Bell Chambers. The modern game, you tend to see people with a bit of size in there and strength, and he perfectly fits that mould for Lauderdale.
He's a gun, that's for sure. Hayden Smith taps it down. Cox is there to collect for the Roos. Kicks a big high ball. It hugs the boundary and it's actually out of bounds on the full. So Lauderdale will have another opportunity to bring it inside 50 and Thor Boscott will take the kick.
Clarence have got to be careful because Thor will play on here and run around and there's no one awake to that.
Let's see what he does.
He's got a bit of room to perhaps play on and get some momentum.
3 goals to his name. Thor Boscott kicks it inside. Goes to the pack. It's all Clarence though there. Cunliffe had it. Hanslow as well. And now here's Williamson. Is he interfered with? Umpire said no, not on this occasion. And taken high. So a free kick here to... Who's it going to be paid to here, Brownie?
Well, it looks like Lauderdale because I don't see Clarence running and spreading.
Looks like McManus. So Robbie McManus will have a shot on goal here. And this margin could be pushed out again to 22 points if he can convert successfully, Robbie McManus. So they got the quick reply there after the Roos, but this will put another dagger through the heart of Clarence if successful.
He's become a really consistent player, hasn't he, throughout his career, Robbie McManus. He's versatile. Normally he makes pretty good decisions by foot.
He's a veteran of the side. Robbie McManus, what can he do on this occasion? It's pushed to the right. It doesn't even make the distance. Mosquito cleverly. No, but Stanley! Great goal, Ed Stanley. And the Bombers back out to a 22-point lead.
Well, the ex-Clarence player, I'm not sure whether or not Mosquito, was he having a shot there, Breno?
I don't know. I thought he was.
Instinctively lay it across for somebody else. But either way, it's worked out well for Lauderdale. A bonus there for Stanley, who's become a goal kicker for them in a different role. And they, again, restore that 22-point lead.
Yeah, it's not what Clarence was after at all. 7 minutes into this third quarter. Up we go again. Bailey. Ball doesn't go too far from the centre circle before we restart. As the sun finally disappears here. Thought we might have had a rainy afternoon here looking out the window this morning, Brownie, but the weather's been okay.
Well, it did look that way.
As we see Bell Chambers scoop up the ball for the Bombers. He's wrapped up in a big tackle by a couple of Clarence players there. Umpire will ball it up. The conditions pretty good though this afternoon. Now, a lot of junior sport was cancelled today around Hobart. We go again with Bailey and Smith. And now Brady Jones. Handballs off to the running Fletcher Seymour. He's got someone on inside. It's Cunliffe. Troy Cunliffe kicks it and finds Neild, who takes the mark in the big orange bright wheels and will go back and have a shot directly in front and kick from 40 metres out. He's been a fantastic pickup for the Roos this season, Chris Neild, from the Tigers, of course.
He's had a couple of big games, hasn't he,
He has. Been quiet this afternoon. So this to keep his side in touch and cut that 22-point lead back to 16. Chris Neild, in he comes on the left. Looks pretty good. Splits the middle. That's what the Roos are after. 16-point lead once more.
Well, he kicked 3 goals last week against his old club. Predominantly played as a forward this year for the Roos. I thought he had a pretty quiet start to the game, but I thought he's just started to work his way into it and got some separation from his opponent in the second quarter. But that was really set up with some smart work by Troy Cunliffe. We know when he gets the ball on the outside, he's a lovely balanced player, and was able to find Neil, who just peeled off his man to find some space. Good finish. So we're trading goals here in the third quarter. Still a 16-point lead. That was the margin at half-time, and a couple each to each side to start this third quarter.
So the part-time rucks in the middle. Havea, the better of the two, winning it. Kiranea out and finds Mosquito on the outer wing. Mosquito, a very crafty player for this Lauderdale outfit. Spots up Heavey beautifully. Heavey turns and burns. Out in front of Ben McGuinness. Too easy.
Yeah, I was looking up the field then, Gilly, and what I was really impressed with was Lauderdale. They just refused to lead into that space too early. So it gave McGuinness and Boscott a real good run at it with open grass, and they were patient there. They went for the short option first, and then McGuinness, who is a swingman, as we know. They've got 2 or 3 like this in this team. This has probably been his issue at times.
No question, Brownie. Goal kicking, not his strength. Across the arc, off the left, lets it hang horribly out to the right. Minor score. So Brady Jones to bring it back in. Measured kick, finds the chest of Cunliffe. Looks further afield. Hope does well, picks it off his shoelaces. It was nicely done. And they'll work it out through hands now. Cowie to Cunliffe. Long, strong, looking for Bailey as well. Sharked by Silver over the top. He'll find Neil. Neil almost lost his footing trying to soccer that one. Just got his boot caught in the grass.
Well, with all due respect to Chris Neal, it was the wrong player to be running onto that. They needed Trent Stanton or Jake Cox. But again, Cunliffe lifting Clarence here with some of his run and carry. Looks dangerous with ball in hand.
Good energy, no doubt about it. Out the back, it comes to Wiggins. He does well, navigates traffic, but his kick is blocked. Comes to Cunliffe on the boot. That man you just spoke of, Brownie, hits the scoreboard. Cuts the margin further, and we've got a real game on our hands.
Well, he's had a terrific quarter, and every time he seems to have the ball in his hand, Clarence looked like scoring. And it was a really good snap, wasn't it? Just instinctively threw it on the boot. Knew where the goals were. He's always been a goal kicker right throughout his career, no matter where he's played his footy, and 11 points now. So, good response from the Roos.
Brownie, we saw this a few weeks ago against North Launceston. I think they got out to a 26-point lead, and Clarence clawed their way back. And
they just hang in there, don't they?
They do. They don't go away, the Roos, as Franklin kicks it out of the centre square, and Mosquito takes a nice mark on the chest.
He's played well, Mosquito. Just found pockets of space.
What can he do here? He kicks it inside. Not his best kick, though, and straight down the throat. No, Cowie takes an easy mark.
It's low percentage anyway to going to that area of the ground.
Oh, the kick's smothered.
Now, is it out?
I tell you what, was he off? Was he off his mark there?
It's a throw in.
He's quick to close that down.
I actually wonder whether or not it been
out on the full. Yeah.
So called for it, that's for sure. As it comes back in, Berry taps down. Cox tries to paddle it out and does to Seymour, who pops up the kick. And that's
that was
50.
Silly. There was no need for that.
Very
Absolutely
silly.
no need.
And he's not, he's pretty slow to get up there, Matt Franklin, but that was, you're right, silly. Crucial stage of the game here. And
well, your team's getting the momentum. They've had their best period of play potentially in the game, and he was never going to make that contest. And it was the only thing was going to happen there if he made contact was there was going to be a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah.
So this would be a body blow if Lauderdale can kick it. Normally better than that, Ryan Bailey. He's had a terrific season. A bit quieter today, but
he'll kick from about 30 metres out here, Nat Franklin. Slight angle.
yeah, you'd be filthy with that if you're Jeremy Webberley.
It's been a few acts of ill discipline here today from Clarence. Nat Franklin, star of the competition. It's been fantastic for the Bombers this afternoon. That kick is very, very nice. And a crucial goal for the Bombers just when Clarence started to peg back a little bit of the momentum. The Bombers answer thanks to a bit of ill discipline from the Roos.
Yeah, Leosin won Ryan Bailey. Unnecessary there, and Lauderdale remonstrated with him and let him know all about it. But importantly for Lauderdale, Nat Franklin had the composure to finish and just restore that 17-point lead. So it's just hovered around that margin for half of this quarter gone so far. So a bit of an arm wrestle. The game's opened up a little bit though, offensively, with 3 goals each in the third quarter.
That could be a costly 50 and resulting goal. Brenner now slaps it on the boot. Toward forward 50, leading the foot race with Standen. Scooped it back the other way. Shaw gets involved. Neal steals. Inside. Looking for Bailey. Wiggins ahead of him. Should butter up nicely. He's got Belchamber short if he wants it. Wants to go longer. No one really laying claim to that. Stanley tries to just put in the Kerenay direction. Doesn't quite, and Seymour claims it. Kicking for Brenner.
Good mark.
I thought it was a grab.
Might have been chopping of the hands.
Being paid. Or
the arms, I should say.
Chopping in arms. I think you're right there, Brownie. So Brenner, player that's finding his feet at this level, pops it up. They rise high. Out the back was Hope, almost. From an impossible angle, he couldn't, could he? Standen, almost punched out of the hands by Franklin and out for a throw-in.
Well, that'll suit the Roos. They get an opportunity to set up here. In these situations, you've got to keep your eye on players like Trent Standen, Troy Cunliffe. These sort of boys can manufacture something. Jay Cox.
Thrown in, punch down from Wiggins. Underneath that is Hope for Clarence. It's thrown up again. It's
an important game though, isn't it, for both teams? But Lauderdale, if they have any ambitions to be in the top 3, they must win this today.
Bailey punched it out. Now Chambers on the left. The kick's not his best. Out of bounds on the full. So McManus will take the kick for the Bombers out of the back pocket. They lead this one by 17 points as we approach time on, third term.
Got to go and get your own footy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had to. He's jumped the fence, Robbie McManus.
And Clarence have set up pretty well here. They're going to try and make him kick down the line. He wants to switch it, but he'll end up going down the line, I would think.
So here he goes, Robbie McManus. Smith takes a mark. Nice mark. Duke's out in front. So not much on offer for big Hayden Smith. He goes to the wing. Flying is McManus. McGuinness from behind, but pushed, so that'll go to Clarence.
He just mistimed his run and then cannoned into the opposition, which was Holmes. He gave it to Wiley.
So Wiley switches play. And Seymour, who's been a fantastic inclusion to this Clarence lineup this season. Harper sells some candy and drives it forward. And goes right to the boundary, but a nice mark taken there by Hope. So crucial stage of the game here. Clarence would love the next goal. We've still got it here, the Roos. Standen, long way from home, throws it on the boot. Bailey in his direction. And now what can they do here? It's Silver. Gets it back out to Jones. Jones throws it on the boot to the top of the square. Anyone can take the mark for Clarence. They can't, but Speedy's there. Can he get it? Oh, he kicks it. I thought it was headed goalward. And it driggles over the boundary in the end, and boundary throwing on. That was a funny old kick there from Trent Standen. It was like a little back flick or something, Brownie.
Well, he just wanted to keep it in play.
Did well.
Keep the ball alive. So get an opportunity here from the stoppage, Clarence.
Absolutely. In it comes. Right in front of the Roos goal. Bailey, can he get
It's got to be ball, doesn't it?
Had to be. Here goes the kid.
And they're out of defence now. And Jones, though, there to collect for the Roos in the helmet, of course. He plays on quickly. What's on offer here for Harper? He drills it in. Mark couldn't be taken. Smith. And now Wiggins. Wiggins handballs over the top to McGuinness of the Josh variety. Sutton smacks it up high. Lots of players find no one could get it though. Cowie out the back. Throws it on the left. And Josh McGuinness. And that's 50 as well. Surely.
Should be.
Surely. Goodness me.
Well, they're giving him the benefit of the doubt with that action. Obviously believed it was in play and not late. Perhaps a little fortunate.
So Joshy McGuinness to the wing. All Clarence here though. Bailey flew from behind. And the free kick will go to Lauderdale though. And big Hayden Smith.
He's had a good day, hasn't he, Hayden Smith?
Been terrific against quality opposition.
Oh, well done.
Probably the form ruckman of the comp he's up against, and he's lowered his colours, I reckon.
We saw Oscar Shaw before there, boys, rebounding from the Lauderdale defensive 50.
Josh McGuinness just being had a look at here, boys, on the boundary. Looks like he's okay after that hit a moment ago.
Yeah, young Shaw, it's his kicking that'll be something he'll look to improve on over the next 12 to 18 months.
Here he goes, Cunliffe. He's been the energetic one for the Roos. Nicely done by Hanslow. Works it out. Chambers almost threw it back to himself. McManus, ball smothered. Comes to Havea. Almost for Sutton. Candy shot from Seymour. Inside 50. Oh, that's cut off nicely.
Great courage. Young Oscar Shaw, was it?
It is the youngster. He's gone where angels fear to tread and caught one. Here's his kicking on show. Onto the outer wing. Finds its target. That was a great bit of work from a young player to go back in the hole like that. Looking for Gilby now. Tries the soccer. Not quite. Ling emerges. Interesting handball. Inside for Cunliffe. Cunliffe looking for Neild. Works his opponent away from it. Free kick.
Well, he was saying
sure about it.
He was using his body. Just wondering, Jacob Gilby just can't get in the game.
He looked for it out the back, didn't he,
Yeah,
on the wing?
It might be worth him pushing a little bit higher up the ground or even going back into defence just to try and get some footy.
So Williams now running away. Looking for Havea. Might end up with Kieran Nair.
Fire.
Friendly fire indeed. Play goes on though. Havea back to Williams, then to Sutton. Throw. Chambers gives him some love after it.
He's reversed it, hasn't he?
It was Lamsus even.
No?
Yeah, he has reversed it. So Clarence, ill-disciplined today.
It's unlike them in terms of how they've been this season, Gilly.
So Lamsus long, looking in the Ben McGuinness direction. That's a great clunk. Just came out and took it.
No.
I think that's the right call. I think he milked that a little, Ben McGuinness. Inside for Boscott, arrives. Ambitious. Cops one high, umpire giving him nothing. Or is he?
Nope. Well, maybe he was playing for it because he didn't.
I think you're right, Brownie.
Straight.
I think he led in and good decision in the finish. Up it goes again. Bailey and Smith. Smith down. He might just follow up his own work. Kiranea on the boot. Looking for Stanley. Puts it to the ground. Cowie now running away. Onto the outer wing. Looking for Cunliffe. Can't quite find him.
I reckon we've had
it goes.
5 or 6 minutes here where it's just been going up either end of the ground and nobody able to get a goal. I just reckon the way this game's being played, next goal is actually quite important, just with the momentum of this match.
15 scoring shots to 13, so the scoreboard is pretty tight despite Lauderdale having that 17-point advantage as Clarence bring it out of defence and Seymour takes the mark. 23 minutes gone, third quarter. Nice mark taken out in front by Cox. Brings it to the 50, but kneeled and couldn't take it there. And out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Just from a Lauderdale perspective, Ben McGuinness has launched himself 3 or 4 times this quarter and has mistimed his jump a little bit. But that last one was a terrific mark. And good signs, I think, for him. I've got a feeling he'll have a bit of a say in this game in the last quarter and a bit if he stays forward.
Bailey taps it down. What can Clarence do here? Players fall over the footy. Jake Cox cries for the free kick, but umpire says he'll ball it up. How many goals kicked this quarter, Brownie?
3 each, Brent, I believe. Clarence with the 3 straight goals and Lauderdale 3 goals 1.
Smith, and now Heavey through the centre square here at Blundstone Arena. He's got Franklin out here on his own. Can he get there in time? He does. He gets it backwards. It was Boscott, in fact, not Franklin. Boscott gets it back, and now Franklin. Franklin has a look. He goes to the top of the square. Mark, can it be taken?
In the back?
No, can't. Umpire's blowing the whistle. Yes, good call, Damian Gill. And a free kick going the way of the Bombers. Directly in front of goal.
Stanley.
Well done to Nat Franklin, because again, you do see some players have a shot for goal in that situation, but he played the percentages, kicked it across his body, gave his forwards a chance, and a free kick to Lauderdale. And we spoke about how important we felt the next goal was in the context of this game. Still a fair bit to be played, but just because it's been an arm wrestle, the momentum, just thinking this would be a game-high lead, I would have thought, boys, if Lauderdale do kick this.
James Holmes filthy with that decision. He's on the mark at the moment as Ed Stanley comes in. Kicked one earlier this quarter against his old team. Makes it 2 and gets the one-finger salute to go with it. Biggest lead of the game, the Bombers are out to. It's going to be tough work now for Clarence.
2 goals for Ed Stanley. He's got some versatility. We've seen him play down back. He can roll up a little bit high on the ground, and he's become someone that can bob up and kick a couple of goals, and his role shouldn't be underestimated today. 2 goals in this quarter. So 23-point lead now for the Roos. For Lauderdale, but we've banged on about it a couple of times today, Gilly. Clarence, what's been a key feature of their game this year is just their ability to stay in the contest, and they're going to need to now.
Absolutely. Bailey out of the ruck. What can he do here? Out of the square, a big long kick looking for Standen, undersized in the contest. At the full was Cox. Hasn't been in the game too often. Riding in the tackle with Standen. Cries for holding the ball. It got out. And it'll be a ball up.
We love our youngsters at TSL footy, particularly on the stream. And again, it was a nice fist from Oscar Shaw, who's caught in a one-on-one. Just played the percentages.
Down it goes. Hands low at the full. Slips through his fingers. Harper can gather and put it on the boot and steer home a goal. A really nice finish from Harper, and it gives the Roos some life.
Well, he's had a pretty quiet day, but we know he can bob up and kick a goal, and that was a difficult one because he was running away from the goals. Not an easy kick, but set up by Bailey, winning that centre bounce clearance himself, and had some time and space to push it deep inside the forward 50, stoppage, and away they go. So well done to the Roos. They cut it back to that 17-point margin. It's just been hovering around that for quite some time, really.
Has indeed, Cameron Brown. We restart again. Smith, Heavey's there. Couldn't get boot to ball. Now Jones has the footy to himself, but quickly tackled.
Gone.
And gone. So, nice tackle there. Must be getting close to three-quarter time.
He's done a pretty good job on Jones as Harrison.
As Heavey pumps it long. Kicked a goal from that point of the centre square last year. Maybe being a little bit generous there. And now Sutton throws it on the boot, and Mark taken, no. Here's Mosquito though, and kicks a goal. Timmy Mosquito. He's had a day out today.
I didn't see the gift from the Lauderdale player. Apologies. Was it Boscott, or might even be Bell Chambers?
Bell Chambers, yeah.
But gee, that was a smart one to give inside if it was Bell Chambers, because he could have blazed away with a bit of lack of composure and perhaps wanted to be selfish and kick it around the corner, but no, looked on board.
Holmes,
and, Mosquito, nice finish.
Sorry, Brandy. Holmes made his way off very gingerly because he did what he always does, and he went in the hole and was crunched. Courageous player, young Holmes. Back in the middle again. Lauderdale on top. Smith being dominant. Looking for Heavey. Tried the soccer. Silver picks it up. Looking for Seymour. Gathers and gives.
Oh,
back for Silver. Handball to no one in particular. Slapped on the boot by McManus. Boscott makes it a contest. Goes through the legs of Stanley. Coming through, and it's tackled. A nice tackle from Keranea.
Teams tackle well these days, Gilly, don't they? It's been a really improved skill over the journey, and very rarely do players able to break tackles.
Now up it goes again. Smith wins it down. Heavey. Turning ball. Coming through is McGuinness. Ben McGuinness. Leaping and lunging from the square, takes a mark.
Well, we thought he might have an influence in this game when he went forward. And early on in this quarter, he just cannoned in a couple of times to his opponent, was just mistiming it. But when he's got a bit of time, Gilly, where he can run up and jump at the footy, he is very dangerous. And more often than not, when he is swung forward, he bobs up and kicks 1 or 2 goals. He gets his second look at it here. As we mentioned, this has probably been his issue. His set shot goal kicking can be a little bit wayward, but he kicks this one and puts it close to a 5-goal margin.
Can he put the exclamation point on a good quarter here, Ben McGuinness? Wanders in, a few on the mark. He hasn't struck that well at all.
Yeah.
In fact, out to the left, a minor score.
See, that's a really disappointing miss, and I don't want to harp on it, but that's just something that, for whatever reason, has eluded him in his career, that set shot goal kicking. He's got to forget about that and be more pleased with the fact that he's been able to take a couple of marks, because he'll potentially have a big influence in the last quarter. That would have put it out to 29 points. As it is, it's a 24-point ball game. Lauderdale in that quarter slamming on 5 goals.
Real job to do for the Roos. Back against the wall here, you'd have to favour the Bombers. They've been sensational today. The only real sour spot for them, an injury to Alex Hill. Hope it's not a long-termer, but
I think Clarence lost Birchall too, boys, haven't they? He had that injury, a facial injury it looked like.
So, back in the middle, it'll go. Cunliffe probably been the pick of the Roos. Plenty of Bombers to choose from in terms of best there. 4 off the back of the square here. Smith and Bailey. Smith down. Franklin couldn't keep a hold of it. McGuinness pounces on the outside of his boot. A bouncing ball for Boscott. He's being held by Bailey. No free kick though. Bailey comes and picks it up. Swung in a tackle by Kerenaya. Oh no, holding the ball. Be thrown in.
He's not blessed with blistering speed, Josh McGuinness, but he is very composed with ball in hand. Seems to have a lot of time.
So thrown in again. Down from Bailey. Picked up by Seymour. Thrown on the boot by Cunliffe. The ball bouncing through the centre square. Standen eyes it. He claims Shaw in a tackle. The youngster made a wear one.
Again, though, it was good commitment from him. He had to body line the ball. He didn't shy away from it.
Josh McGuinness done a good job on Jake Cox today.
It's been a good education too for young Shaw on Trent Standen for long periods today.
So up it goes. Smith down. Franklin looked at it, but Cox got involved. What can he do here? He runs into trouble. Gets enough of it. Finds Jones. Brenner slapping on the boot. Kneeled. Couldn't quite take it. Raglione now. Looking for Williams. Doesn't get there. Out it goes.
You need to take that, didn't he, Neil? Just a half chance there, and if Clarence are going to need to kick at least 5 in this quarter.
Lights beginning to take over here at Blundstone Arena. Conditions have been good this afternoon. After a wet start to the day in Hobart, Bailey throws it onto the boot. It's a wobbly kick inside 50. McGuinness couldn't take the mark. Sutton, can he collect? No, he can't. But now it's Bellchambers, handball's off.
Poor give.
And yeah, it wasn't put it under pressure, didn't he? That's for sure. Bellchambers gets the footy, handballs. Franklin. Now the Bombers have a chance through Boscott here. He's got someone on
Good
deep
kick.
Inside,
Gilby.
and mark taken by Gilby. Jacob Gilby goes in and says, "Thank you very much." The former Gold Coast son gets one for the Bombers.
Well, he's really struggled to have an impact today, Jacob Gilby. That may not stop him having a big say in this last quarter, though. And again, really good ball use, wasn't it, from Lauderdale? And Thor Boscott, who's had a terrific return game today, importantly got the kick over the back, gave Gilby the opportunity, had the presence of mind to play on, get the all-important first goal to start this last quarter, and puts it out to a game-high 30-point lead to Lauderdale. It's going to be hard to stop from here, boys.
Very hard. Very hard indeed. So back in the middle again. They've got their tails up, Lauderdale. Smith and Bailey. Smith down, but to the advantage of Cunliffe. Just hands it out. Castle been pretty quiet, dumped in a tackle.
He has been quiet.
So, ball up, edge of the centre square, approaching, attacking 50 for the Roos. Smith again, Seymour, whacks it on the boot, hands low, couldn't quite. Coming through his castle, couldn't gather. Shaw the other way, Cunliffe couldn't gather either. It's a slippery footy, I think. Wrapped up in a tackle and it's high. So it'll be a free kick to the youngster. Shaw, quick give to McManus. He'll ask a bit of Smith. He arrives, the big fella does well. Hands it off. They're away now. A running bounce. Williams, long kick, looking for Ben McGuinness. Brings it to ground. The crumb's there.
Gilby's on.
Turns and goes. He's got a paddock, Gilby. He won't play on this time. He's held up. He'll have a look at the sticks, though, and line up for his second.
Well, he just found a lot of space out the back. And all Lauderdale needed to do was get it to him. He normally does this part of his game pretty well, Jacob Gilby.
He's kicked 2 in most games since returning to Lauderdale this year. Been a little inaccurate. Most games he's kicked 2-3 or 2-4. Wanders on in. He's not missing this one. And Lauderdale aren't losing this one. They've been terrific.
Yeah, it's an important game for them coming in, wasn't it? And they look like they're going to get the 4 points, which, again, just built some momentum. And as has been their way in the second half of the year, they seem to get on a roll and starting to get some key players back in their organisation, and they're certainly a better team for it. And Gilby was a bit of a bonus, wasn't he, coming back into TSL footy this year, using all his experience there to get out the back on his opponent in Williamson.
Around the grounds, Tigers by 11 against North Hobart at North Hobart. So the rivalry continues between those two clubs. A pulsating finish coming up there as play goes on here at Blundstone Arena. We'll look at the ladder in a moment and see what this does, this result, because Lauderdale are coming in a big, big way. This could move them today into 4th position. Play goes on here. Brenner tied up with it. Gets it back though. Only for a moment before everyone jumps onto it. Now this will put Lauderdale just 1 win behind Glenorchy. Obviously, Glenorchy have the bye this week.
They play each other next week, so
big game.
Good leapfrog.
Down at Lauderdale too, so that'll be a huge contest. Brady Jones throws it on the boot. It's a high ball to the top of the square. Anybody home? Brenner's there to collect for the Roos. And over.
Again, young Shaw got back and
he's
defensive fist. Sorry, Gilly.
He's got plenty about him, doesn't he, Brownie?
He
has.
Looks like he's really competitive in the air and very defensive minded. Coaches love that.
Margin to 35 points here. Long kick from full back. This is Chambers. Up
great tackle.
Thrown, said.
Superb tackle.
He's had a good year, this boy, Sutton.
He drives it long. Havea couldn't take the mark under a bit of pressure. But now Lauderdale inside 50 once more. Good mark taken. And it's Stanley. So he's kicked 2. Can he get 3 against his former club? Always a little bit sweeter when they're against your former club, aren't they, Brownie? Back in your day?
They seem to get up players, don't they, when they're up against their old teammates. Lauderdale just look like they're going to take this game running in the last quarter.
Could be a big margin.
I was about to say, what is their percentage? I'll pop the ladder away
it's
for
not
the
good.
moment, but yeah, this will...
No, the percentage wasn't great, I don't think, coming into this. Pretty sure it was below 100.
Ed Stanley, the former Roo, now Bomber, wanders on in. And the kick is okay. It's his 3rd. Bombers home and hosed here at Belreef.
Yeah, well, he becomes the equal highest goal scorer on the ground with Thor Boscott. To answer your question, yeah, Lauderdale's percentage are 91, so they're a good 30% off fourth place Launceston. So they're going to probably pay for that, you would think. So they're going to have to try and win an extra game because the percentage is probably going to hurt them if you're looking for them to jostle in the top 3. But still a long way to go in this season.
Not so long to go in this game, and Lauderdale are well in control. 41-point lead. It's blown out considerably. As Bailey loses this one, Cox runs into trouble, drops it cold, gone. Smith sums up his day, and he'll get a 50 for his troubles, and that just about sums up Clarence's day.
Well, they have been uncharacteristically poor at times in terms of some of their discipline and 50s that they've given away, the odd free kick.
So Smith will
don't
line
want
up.
to fall away, do you? I think I heard you say, Breno, they've got the bye next week, Clarence. Is that right? So potentially it might have came at a good time for them.
I reckon they do have to bite.
So Hayden Smith. Lining up. Had a good day. This would be a good way to finish it off. And he finishes it off. Beautiful stuff from the ruckman. Lauderdale rampaging home in this game.
Vocal support crew here too for the Bombers. They're very loud.
Well, their body language is up, and it's probably potentially one of their better results of the year. Going away with this game, they've kicked 3 or 4 in this last quarter, boys. After McGuinness had an opportunity in just on 3/4 time to put them 29 points in front, but since then, and Clarence really have had very rarely pushed the ball forward inside 50 this quarter.
47-point margin now. It's getting ugly for the Roos. Can they quell it somewhat before full time? It's going again here in the middle. Bailey just didn't read it quite well enough on that occasion. And now Castle over judged as well. Mosquito under pressure, handball went to Bailey. Jones pumps it forward. Cunliffe couldn't take the mark, and now the Bombers are away inside the centre square. Mosquito again, and mark paid.
It's a good grab.
It was
Mosquito.
He goes sideways, and the kick landed in Nat Franklin's hands, only just. Dangerous kick in the end. Brent right behind him. Here's Smith, kicked the goal a few moments ago, of course. Back to Franklin. Franklin gets it to the paint of 50. No one there for the Bombers. Havea, though, taps it forward. And now Williamson, Castle. Umpire's blown the whistle here.
It's going to be a free kick
Williamson
off the ball.
free, I think. Boscott got rid of him. It might be.
Even right from the word go, boys, Lauderdale looked up and about, didn't they? Their energy level was really early on in this contest, and they've been able to maintain that right throughout this game.
So Timmy Castle on report from earlier in the game as well for abusing an umpire, we believe. So we'll hear about that during the week. He goes, finds an option. Oh, mark couldn't be taken. And now Williamson tucks the footy under his arm. Kicks it forward. And now hands low. He's wrapped up. Was he wrapped up on the legs? The umpire let it go. And now Bell Chambers, Sutton. High ball. Mosquitoes under it. And now Franklin. Bell Chambers. Inside 50. Stanley again. He's kicked 3. Ball still alive for the moment. Not for long though. Umpire will come in and have it. So 47 points. Nice lead for the Bombers, as we said. Need to build a percentage, so this will help somewhat. Havea taps it down. McGuinness. Umpire's blown the whistle. Free kick to the Roos. Go to Ryan Bailey. Goes sideways, Bailey. Play on quickly, the Roos. Cox and McGuinness. McGuinness from behind punches it out of bounds.
Yeah, well, they're loving this, the Lauderdale supporters. You're quite right, Bruno. They're very vocal at the moment and recognising every effort that their players give, whether or not be a tackle or a smother or a punch or a goal.
Absolutely.
Not going unnoticed.
Bailey, big swat from behind. They control it well. Lamses, and now Sutton. Sutton goes, and Williamson just misjudged it for the Roos. Ling's in there, dives on top of the footy. Umpire ball it up.
12 and change gone here in the last term. The contest well and truly belongs to Lauderdale. 16-6, 102, 87.55. Just a matter of the margin now. Up it goes. Berry won that one, not convincingly. Silver ran out of time. Cunliffe, as his ball blocked, out it goes. So this is a big win for Lauderdale. The 2 games earlier on this season against Clarence, both down at Lauderdale. They were just edged out by their bitter rivals, but today they've been best by a long way as it's handed out from Bell Chambers. Mosquito eyes goal. Mosquito finishes off. He's a talent.
Loves it too. Look at him.
Why not, Breno?
Well, he's kicked a goal in the second, third, and now the last quarter, and I've really liked his game today. He's been really creative, bobbed up at different times when his team needed him, and that was a really smart finish. Capped off a pretty good day for him, 3 goals. Just 1 or 2 boys, Clarence, a couple of boys out of the team today that obviously we're not seeing the Roos every week, but Dickinson's a player that can kick goals. Richmond, we really liked his form early on the season. So you'd think they've got a chance to work their way back into the team, those 2 boys.
They've missed the coach dearly as well today, it must be said.
No
Absolutely.
doubt.
That's great to see Lauderdale back in business from a competition perspective anyway. Not so much if you're a Roos supporter. But they're certainly going to be among the contenders come September.
Oh, they're a genuine contender, I reckon.
Big time. Big time.
When you factor in Bryce Walsh is still to come into this side, they'll get Matt McGuinness in, Nick Baker, and in a few weeks, once he's right, Anderton comes back in.
Are they the contender, Damo? Do you think there might be a very serious challenger to North? All the talks with North Launceston, but this Lauderdale side,
yeah, I think so. It depends.
Absolutely.
Hill is a big factor, to be honest.
Yeah.
Structurally very important.
Absolutely. Free kick wasn't paid there. Play goes on. Lamses gets it out of the pack. Good mark taken. It's McManus, I think.
Yep. Yeah, Hill against the likes of North Lonnie with a few more tools. Might hurt him, but geez, they're playing some good footy today, Bruno.
Seymour gets the handball away. Or was he pinged beforehand? So Lauderdale will take the kick. So 15 minutes gone, final term. Big margin now to the Bombers. McGuinness over the top. Finds Sutton. Dodges and weaves. Wiley throws it. It's a high ball. Floating in the air. No one could take the mark. Boscott. Cox now. Drives it long. In fact, it wasn't Cox. He's there to get the ball. And McGuinness. Jake Cox does well. But he's in enormous trouble now and pinged.
It's happened a few times to him.
It has, yeah.
Josh
He's got
McGuinness
very
done
dark.
a good job, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, he's a very steady player, calm influence. We know he's been in the AFL system for a couple of years. And just his maturity with ball in hand, even the way he directs his team.
Hang on
It's
a
been
second.
overturned. I think Havea had a bit to do with that. I didn't exactly see it, but I think they've overturned it there as we see Stanton go for goal. Neild takes the mark. No, he doesn't. And through for a minor score.
The Bronx cheers.
Well, they've had very little to cheer about, the Clarence supporters, in this last quarter. They've only kicked the 2 behinds, while Lauderdale have kicked 5 goals straight in the first 16 minutes of this last quarter.
Short one from Wiggins and then over the top for Mosquito. Reglione does well. Clever stuff with a little punch along the line. Gilby and Jones fired it out for it. Jones came out with it, almost interrupted by Mosquito, then gathered by Gilby. Reglione uses strength but couldn't take the footy. Out it goes. So 8-8-56 plays 17-6-108. 17 goals. It's a good afternoon. Good going from the Bombers.
Yeah, pretty accurate kicking too from them.
So it'll be thrown in. Berry and Havea. Havea's added a fair bit coming back into this side, it's got to be said. It's gathered by Brenner. Just moves it forward with a thumping kick out the back, standing. Trademark. Crumbs and goals. So a rare moment in this final term for the red and white.
And he would be one of the few positives today for the Roos. 3 goals and still a fair bit of upside for him for the second half of the season, but we know he's missed a lot of footy. We think he's 3rd game back, and he's kicked 3 goals. He's been a bit of a lone hand, really. He's been the only multiple goal kicker for the Roos today. Their first goal of this last quarter. We've just got to hang in there and make sure this doesn't blow out to a 10-goal loss.
Back to 46 points now. Approaching time on final term. Berry back into the ruck for the Roos. Franklin taps it down to Bellchambers. Bellchambers throws it on the boot. Goes inside 50. Gilby flew from behind. Gets the footy back though. Does well. Gets the handball out. Stanley couldn't collect. Jones wrapped up by Bellchambers. Ball up.
I mean, just on them, though, they're certainly the sleeper, aren't they, Lauderdale? We just think they're going to get better and better as the year goes on. Gilby's another player that you would think has got a fair bit of upside left as he gets some continuity back into his footy.
Underway again. Lambs tries to get the footy. Eyes dive onto it. And now Franklin throws it on the boot. Does not go anywhere except straight up in the air. Mosquito was under it. Couldn't get there. Boscott tries to juggle it. Gilby. Ball still alive here. And rush through eventually. Trying to look at the scores from around the grounds.
Yeah, you're battling there, Breno. I don't know what you've done.
I can tell you that Brisbane had a very comfortable win over the Blues.
Tigers have kicked away at North Hobart Oval. They are leading by 25 points at full time, actually. Full time, final score, Tigers by 25.
So Bailey hands off to Wiley. Over the head of Neil. He just let it go. Came to Standen. He puts it into a vacant 50 and Neil gets the spikes out and gets sprinting. Runs inside to forward 50, didn't gather. Williams did, but he was hot straight away. Be a stoppage. So about to tick into the 21st minute even. Up it goes.
We'll get you a check next week for these two teams. Lauderdale got Glenorchy, so that'll be a terrific test.
That's deliberate, I would have thought, from McManus. Yep. Oh, no. Be thrown in.
Clarence with the bye. Brownie.
Okay, so they do have the bye. Probably come in an okay time for them, really, the Roos. Obviously, their coach out injured. An extra week off.
Buys a week for Jacko O'Brien, of course.
That's it. They've still got a few to come back into this team, Clarence. Albeit they'd be disappointed with their performance today. Lauderdale certainly have looked the more hungry team right from the word go.
So Williams a bit sloppy there, straight out in the full.
Well, in fairness, the umpire was trying to tell him. He refused to. Geez,
that's he's bit off
there.
Yeah, exactly right. As Smith comes through, a clever little soccer there from Gilby, and Lampstis will use his wheels out the back. Havea on his own. He's keen to get going. He just goes, "I'll take you on, Bailey. I'll polish you off."
Well done.
Good finish too from Havea. And that's great footy.
I thought it was ambitious, for him to actually play on, but he just gave the big don't argue, and he was obviously more inclined and backed himself to kick a running goal rather than go back and kick a set shot. So it proved to be a correct decision, and well done to Lauderdale. I think he becomes their 10th goal kicker today. And he was really good early, I thought.
He was.
Set the tone for them.
Big boy, Havea. I wouldn't argue with him, that's for sure. Very nice build. Sutton now. Franklin. Pushes it wide to Heavey. Gets it inboard now, Heavey. Oh, clean up with Sutton. Play goes on, though. And now Bellchambers. Pumps it inside. And on the lead is McGuinness. The flying mullet.
He's been great, Bellchambers.
He centres the footy, McGuinness, and Mosquito again. takes another mark.
Well, he might get the bragging rights if he can kick this and be the leading goal kicker in the game, if this is his potentially his 4th goal. Kelly, they've got probably more so than any other team in the competition, multi-positional players, Lauderdale. They can swing them all over the place.
Here comes the Mosquito. What a pick-up and find he's been for the Lauderdale Footy Club in 2018. He may have just put a little bit too much on that one. He has, minus score.
Just kicked across his body, but gee, they've got some versatility right across their team.
So Clarence to kick out. We'll be looking forward to the end of this game. It's been a bit of a dirty day. Comes along from Wiley, hands low, and Seymour. Seymour from the side almost. Gilby emerges with it. That's better from Gilby. He's kicked a little too up-ish there for Stanley. They run away now, Clarence, through a big, booming Harper kick. It's brought to ground at the full. Was Hope, did well to Bailey and Cunliffe, who hasn't stopped trying. Hands over the top to Castle. Goal ahead of him. Offline. So it is getting seriously dark here at Blundstone Arena. Luckily, not too long left.
Lower powered sort of lights on here, not the full-blown AFL setup.
I think it might be a sort of energy save glow type arrangement. That's what it looks like. Shaw, the youngster, long. Cox sets himself, almost a rare highlight. Picking up was Jones. He's got 3 bombers to deal with. He's in strife here. He's play on, says the umpire, as the ball rolls through. Seymour somehow comes out with it. A little pokey kick. Sits all right for Chambers. Takes the mark. Eager Beaver. Gets it on to Cox. Inside looking for Hope. Cut off. Back for Hope now. Slaps it on the left boot.
That's in.
And the late inclusion has popped through a nice goal. Clarence's 10th for the day.
Well, the game's opened up a little bit and freewheeling a little bit, both teams at the moment. But a nice finish from Hope, late inclusion. I think that's his 2nd goal. So on a personal level, he would be pleased with that. Not so much his team's performance. 47 points the margin.
So it can't be long to go now in this Saturday afternoon TSL clash. Trying to kick it off the ground there. Clarence Platt comes towards us here in the commentary position. And now Seymour gets it. Cox back to Seymour. Done some great work in the centre here at Blundstone Arena as a cricketer as well. We know that. Now McGuinness lands us. Pumps it to the wing. Umpire's blown the whistle and paid the free kick here to Clarence, I think.
It will be Seymour's kick, I think.
Looks like it. Play's going on anyway. I think, I don't know what's going on there.
It's cut off by Williamson anyway, but yeah, I think definitely signalled the other way.
Interesting. Anywho, Williamson winding down this game now. Boundary throw in. What's that, boys? Then 47 points.
That's right.
Very, very dark here now. Bell Reeve, cold.
26 minutes gone. Wouldn't be a long quarter necessarily. A few goals, I guess.
There's been a few. And it comes again. It's Berry and Smith. And now Bell Chambers drives it in. Can they get one more here? Not at the moment. Roos take the mark. Last line of defence. Tell you what, Brownie, your thoughts on Darren Winter's influence with this Lauderdale team as we see Smith take a nice mark. He's their fortunes have changed ever since he's come back into the coach's box.
Yep, no doubt. And that's no disrespect to Clinton Brown, obviously, who took the reins admirably during that period of time, but unfortunately for them it coincided with Lauderdale really battling. But since the return of Darren Winter, that familiar voice and coach of this team right since their inception in the TSL.
Incorrect.
No, sorry.
That's right. Kane Richter.
Kane Richter, that's right.
And De Goya. As we see Lauderdale wrapped up with the footy there.
Bell Chambers, he's been pretty good. Just couldn't weasel his away from Holmes on that occasion. Jones switches up, finds Bailey. Bailey, just a little pokey kick over the top, calls for Castle, takes the grab, keen to move, looking for Hope, drops it, falls for Mosquito, the give and go, looks back down the wing, has it smothered, out it goes. So Clarence, not a good day, but a lot to come back in when we talk about Webley O'Brien, and I'll see some footy out of Fraser Turner as well.
Yeah, definitely. He'll only strengthen them, only make them better when he returns.
Soccering off the ground was Cox. Couldn't find a target, out it goes.
There's a long way to go in the season, isn't there? So still plenty of time to get some injured players back into your lineup, players that maybe have lost a little bit of form. It's all about banking wins, though, and Lauderdale are starting to make that a habit.
Punching away was Bailey. It was gathered by Mosquito, but a little too hot for Wiggins. That was interesting from Cox, but somehow worked out okay for Stand and slapping on the boot. That's out in the full. So Lauderdale being terrific. Again, the only real sour spot for the day is the injury to Alex Hill, which looks significant.
Yeah, blow for the
Some
Bombers.
saying maybe a dislocated elbow, which is a real shame. Good fella and a good footballer. The whistle.
He's going to go to Clarence, to Keegan Wiley.
Same Wiley. He's one they've got back into this side. Keegan Wiley is a short offer in Williamson. Ignores that. Powers long. The youngster, Shaw, really good work. Came across and took the mark. And the siren sounds on a big victory for the Lauderdale Bombers. They'd suffered 2 defeats at the hands of Clarence this year, but it won't be a third. Lauderdale far too good. 18-8, 116 defeats Clarence 10-9, 69. Winners all across the park for the Bombers in this Speak Up, Stay Chatty Cup. They will take home the cup and the bragging rights of the Eastern Shore.